Yeah, this is Tony Ray Harvey, Antonio Ray Harvey, let's put it like that. We're standing out here in front of Drip Cafe in Midtown Sacramento, and we're talking to the president of the local NAACP here in Sacramento, Betty Williams. We just wrapped up a 2-hour session, reparation session, hosted by Chris Lodgson, talking about a lot of reparation activities that's been going on for the last 2 months, and everybody know the final report will be out June 29th. And hey, Betty Williams made an appearance today to talk about some exciting things. Just want to get your thoughts on what you thought about today's meeting.
I thought it was great. I thought it was 100% African Americans in the room discussing reparations and what it means. NAACP Sacramento intentionally partnered with Chris to do this. We're going to do a number of them at Black-owned restaurants. And so the fact that we're getting input, and I'm part of a pre-task force with the mayor of Sacramento right now. And so there's a lot of questions that's asked in those rooms and at that table that I think those questions need to be asked to our community, boots on the ground, and get their honest opinion. So that's why we've started this, so that one, they get to ask their questions in a safe space without being ridiculed, and being able to give some input on if we want a task force in Sacramento, what that would look like.
I'm glad you brought that up too, because you talked about that in details about starting a Sacramento reparation task force here, in our city, and just like San Francisco, which currently has one in progress, and
Right.
they have $5 million on the table and 111 recommendations, but it has to go through the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, blah blah blah. But Sacramento does need its own for the population that we have here, and we do have a nice, robust Black population here. Can you tell us a little bit about your discussion with the Sacramento Mayor Darrell Steinberg about what you want to do as far as putting together a commission?
Well, I want an outreach team that look like us, and so that we can go to the community that most other corporations that they hire and then subcontract with us. I want us to do the outreach. 1, 2, I want the critical questions to be asked. Do you want a task force, and what should that look like? And so those are the discussions I've had with Mayor Steinberg on how to put something like this together, and not just the monetary piece of what reparation looks like, but the educational, the housing, the small businesses, all of those things need to be part of the recommendation of what reparation looks like for Black Sacramentans. That's what we've been discussing with the mayor.
And once again, I'm talking to Betty Williams, the president of the Sacramento NAACP. We are talking about reparations and maybe possibly putting together a task force here in Sacramento here pretty soon. I like your details that you just brought out, and the aspects of it. And this is the state capitol. How important it is to talk about reparation and Black history here in Sacramento.
I think it's, especially in California and especially in the capital, because we keep saying we're the 4th largest economic engine in the world, not in the nation, in the world. So if we're the 4th largest, why wouldn't a state this rich not have reparations for its own African Americans in the state? So that's why this discussion needs to happen, and that's why reparations needs to happen, and we need to show the example on what it should look like. So if you have that strong of an economic arm that's connected into the entire nation, in the capital, we better be ready and prepared to have reparations for us.
And as you know, the final report for Sacramento, for the state, the California Task Force for California Reparation Task Force will complete their charge at the end of June 29th to be exact, and they'll submit their final report to the California legislature. Have you been following the activities that have been going on with the state reparation task force?
I have been following, along with Chris, somewhat what's been going on, and so that's why I'm trying to get in front of this train, so when the final report comes out, and there is an ask and can be an ask for all the cities of the state of California to participate. So I want to make sure that we start now. I told the mayor we need to start now, so to be prepared to put something out in July, so that if there's an RFP or anything like that to start the task force, it needs to happen immediately after the report. So to your point, have I been following it? I've been following it close enough so that I could parallel with our local mayor so that we could have a task force in place, or at least the process started by July.
If anything that I know, you're going to make this happen.
Right.
You're definitely going to push Daryl Steinberg, the mayor of Sacramento, to get involved and make this happen as well. Is there anything else that you want to add to make sure, this thing comes into fruition?
So the economic part of these meetings, anyone with a small business would like us to come there and have these, what we call either coffee and conversations or chat and choose. We would love to come and maybe in some cases introduce the reparations piece, but in the same hand, bring economics to that black business. So that's what I would like to say, because we're going to be doing this throughout the year. Any black business in the greater Sacramento area, contact the NAACP if you would like us to come to your establishment and we can host it there.
We do want to thank Drip, which is black owned, for hosting today.
Drip, which is black owned. This is my first time here, and that's my point. There's places that we don't even know about that's black owned, and I did order some things from her, and it's excellent. It's excellent. So I would encourage anyone that wants us to come and bring the people to them. Let's do it. Let's do it together, and let's discuss reparations and what we deserve.